Ultraman is one of the most famous characters in Japanese history, and I know absolutely nothing about him. So when I heard that Netflix was taking a crack at the franchise in animated form, I was excited enough, but this movie is way better than it has any right to be. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today I'm excited because we're talking about the brand new animated superhero film on Netflix, Ultraman Rising. All you need to know about this one is that the story goes like this. Ken Sato is a superstar baseball player who returns to Japan to become the latest hero to carry the mantle of Ultraman. However, he is compelled to raise a newborn kaiju monster, the offspring of his greatest enemy, as his own child. So I gotta start this one off by admitting that I truly have zero experience with the Ultraman franchise. I haven't seen any of the movies, I haven't read any of the comics, nothing. Other than knowing that he's part of an alien race and protects the Earth by putting the absolute smackdown on some big-ass kaiju, I'm pretty much in the dark on the series as a whole. I feel like in some ways this couldn't have come out at a better time, with Godzilla -1 and the monsterverse still being fresh on everyone's mind. You've been eating good if you're a fan of big CGI beasts turning cities into their own private Super Smash Bros. Arenas. But with all of that being said, when I sat down to watch Ultraman Rising, I wasn't really sure what to expect from it, or if it would even be worth my time, seeing as I have no personal attachment to the character. Well, I'm happy to report that after watching this movie that I am now motivated to explore all the other entries in this franchise, because this film is surprisingly accessible, heartfelt, exciting, and overall just pretty much what I'm looking for in an animated film. Now, a movie like this is really nothing without its interesting and lovable characters. If you don't connect with them and want to see them succeed, it doesn't really matter how awesome the animation or the soundtrack is, it's not going to end up being a satisfying and fulfilling experience. Luckily for us, Ultraman Rising is chock full of them that are both funny and dramatic when they need to be. You really start to care and root for all of the players involved here, and it's rewarding seeing them take the necessary steps to right their wrongs and grow as human beings. Obviously, the human characters aren't the only draw of this film, though. Don't even get me started on the cute kaiju baby our main character is forced to father. I'm ready to shed a tear right now just thinking about her. If you don't want to protect her at all costs the second she first appears on screen, you're one heartless bastard. I was really impressed by all of the technicals involved in the movie. The animation style was clean, the cinematography was well thought out, and the sound design might have been the MVP of the entire film. You could just tell that there was such a huge amount of passion and detail put into that facet of the project, especially during all of the larger-than-life action sequences. Like seriously, if you're someone that has a nice little home theater setup, this is the type of animated film you want to use to really put it through its paces. It's easy to tell when the people behind a production like this are fans first and foremost, because even though I have zero allegiance to this franchise, even I can realize that their top priority was doing justice to this property. The director of the film, Shannon, has worked on some pretty great animated projects in the past, like Kubo and the Two Strings, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Coraline, and it becomes obvious very quickly that he took a lot of what he learned from those endeavors and injected it right into Ultraman Rising. It's kind of becoming hard to stand out nowadays in the animation landscape after it seems like everyone just wants stuff to mirror the style that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem made popular, but this movie definitely does a good job at that. Maybe this film ends up biting off a little bit more than it can chew when it comes to balancing all of the story aspects at play here, because there really is a lot going on. Our main character is a beloved superhero, he's also a professional baseball player, he's working on rekindling the relationship with his father. On top of all of that, he's raising this baby kaiju, which ends up being the central focus of this movie. Obviously, navigating that many plot points and making sure each area has the proper amount of screen time is pretty much an impossible task, but all of those aspects play off of each other well to make the overall film feel more emotional and heartfelt. Also, there are some surprisingly deep themes that get dealt with in this movie, and it maybe even delves into territory about death and loss that's too dark for some super young kids. But because of that, there's a lot to enjoy both for younger audiences and adults alike. Like seriously, you might end up calling your dad and telling him you love him by the time the credits roll here. Overall, guys, I have to say that I was pretty surprised by Ultraman Rising. As someone that has had exactly zero exposure to this franchise, I had no idea what to expect, but we have an exciting, emotional, and action-packed entry on our hands here. It's definitely a touch long for an animated film, and the story tries to cover too much ground, but the movie is infused with such passion and charm that you won't mind being taken along for the ride. Here's to hoping it gets the sequel that it absolutely deserves. Ultraman Rising gets a Sully score of 3.5 stars. So that's my review for the Netflix animated superhero movie. Let me know in the comments below, are you a big fan of the Ultraman franchise? Because if you are, I need to know which entries I'm supposed to watch. I'm definitely interested. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.